All right, what's going on, Warriors fans? Before we get started on today's show, Steph Curry surpassed Wilt Chamberlain as the Warriors' all-time leading scorer. So right now, to congratulate Steph Curry, like this video. You're watching Warriors Today here on Chat Sports. I am Chase Sr. Give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. And today's episode brought to you by our friends at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat for 20% off plus free shipping for the best male grooming products. I'm telling you, it's one of the best deals out there right now, and you don't want to miss it. Manscaped.com/chat for 20% off plus free shipping. Steph Curry surpassed Wilt Chamberlain as the Warriors' all-time leading scorer, and here's how it all went down. So, Wilt Chamberlain, back in the day, set the record for the most points in the history of the Warriors franchise with 17,783 points. And going into last night's game against the Denver Nuggets, Steph Curry needed 19 points to become number one. And what did he do? Typical Steph Curry fashion, came out guns a-blazing, 20 points in the first quarter, hitting 5 threes in the first 10 minutes, and in the game, dropped 53 points. No, that's not his season high. He dropped 62 earlier on this year, but Steph Curry has been on a tear, and he was tearing it up last night. 53 points, 14 of 24 from the floor, 10 of 18 from deep, and near perfect from the free throw stripe. 15 of 16. And I mentioned Steph Curry has been red hot of late. Here's what he's done over his last 7 games. 32 points against the Bulls on March 29th. Against the Heat, he dropped 36. Against the Hawks, he cooked for 37. Against the Bucks, scored 41. Then against the Wizards, he kept the hot streak going. 32 points. Against the Rockets, 38 points. And last night, up against the Nuggets, one of the hottest teams in the NBA, even though they did lose Jamal Murray, thoughts to him, Steph Curry, cooking once again, 53 points in a record-setting night to surpass Wilt Chamberlain as the franchise's all-time leading scorer. So, this is what I want you to do now. Get into the comments and comment with an emoji describing Steph's play. I want to challenge you. I'm going to go with the fire emoji because my man has been in fuego. Try to come up with something different. Looking forward to seeing what you all come up with. Now, this is what Michael Lee had to say about Steph surpassing Wilt Chamberlain, and kind of puts everything into context because Wilt Chamberlain had an incredible career that we're going to look back on here in just a minute. Michael Lee said this in The Athletic, quote, "It's hilarious how every time an NBA player does something that invokes the name Wilt Chamberlain, all you do is gain more appreciation for Wilt. Steph Curry just became the Warriors' all-time leading scorer in his 745th game for the franchise. Wilt set the old mark in 429 games. Now, I understand that Wilt Chamberlain played in the NBA in a totally different era. Cats weren't built like him, okay? And he was much taller and more athletic than every single player in the NBA. But when you look at these numbers that he put up with the Philadelphia and San Francisco Warriors from 1959 to 1965, it just makes your jaw drop because these numbers are insane. Almost 41 points per night, nearly 25 rebounds. He was a monster off the glass, shot nearly 51% from the floor. And can you imagine a player in the current day NBA tossing up almost 33 shots per game? That's what Wilt Chamberlain did, and he had such a huge impact on the game of basketball back then in the 1950s and 60s, and Steph Curry, all of these decades later, is having quite the impact on the NBA game now, and has since he entered the league. He's been in the league 12 seasons now, and look at how much the game has changed since Steph Curry was drafted out of Davidson. He has literally changed the game. I can remember when Steph was starting to win MVPs and NBA championships, I would go out to play pickup basketball, and all these kids were starting to pull up from 25, 30 feet. They would be chastised by their coaches. That would be frowned upon before Steph Curry came around. But because of Steph, those three-point shots are more and more acceptable. And also, across the league right now, you've seen a massive three-point boom. You know who's responsible for that? Somewhat analytics, but mostly Steph Curry. And I think why Steph Curry has become such a worldwide phenomenon, he is relatable to normal people. He's 6'3", okay? He can play golf. He can shoot the rock. He's not some crazy athlete at 6'9", 240, 250 pounds like LeBron James, who is one of one. Steph Curry looks and plays like a lot of us. That is the impact that Steph has had on this game. So, given what I said right there, do you agree with me that Steph has changed the game? Like this video if you think he has, because I don't think there's any argument that Steph Curry is one of the most influential athletes, not just basketball players, of all time. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Manscaped. And if you are hairy down low, well, that is scary. And ladies out there don't love it if your man is just having a bush down low. So you can take care of that by going to Manscaped, okay? You can get the perfect package, 20% off plus free shipping, thanks to our friends at Manscaped. The Lawnmower 3.0, if you have a bunch of hair downstairs, you can take care of it with the Lawnmower 3.0. But I also love all of their products because there's a variety of them, and they all fit a different need. You get boxers, and I love the Breeze because when I'm running around on a jog, I don't want everything flopping around down there. The tote bag is awesome, okay? The toiletry bag, you go on a trip, you throw everything in there. The ball deodorant, for my people who like to work out, you spray that, apply that on you, and hey, your balls won't be smelling anymore. So manscaped.com/chat, you get the ball toner and all these other products, 20% off plus free shipping. It's one of the best deals out there. I use these products every single day, and I don't have a bush, and you know who likes that? My girlfriend. So get with me on this package right here, no pun intended, and hop on the Manscaped train. Let's get to the latest injury news on James Wiseman. So over the weekend, he tore his meniscus, and his recovery time, we don't know what it is right now. The Warriors haven't settled on a treatment plan for Wiseman's meniscus tear, and it's a very complex injury because depending on the severity of it, which hasn't been determined yet, it could be a 4 to 6 week recovery, or if it's one of those meniscus tears that's pretty serious, James Wiseman's offseason could significantly be altered because he could be out for the next 5 to 7 months, which takes him well into the NBA offseason and possibly into next year as well. And the reason why we just don't know what's going on right now, because after that meniscus tear, the Warriors said, okay, this is our second overall pick. He's only 20 years old. He has a very bright future. Let's get some secondary and third opinions from doctors out there, and let's consult with them to figure out what is best for James Wiseman moving forward in terms of his recovery process. Speaking of injuries and recovery, my goodness, the Warriors have had brutal injury luck over the last 24 months. And it all really started in April of 2019 when DeMarcus Cousins popped his quad. Then in June of 2019 in the NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors, Kevin Durant tore his Achilles. A couple days later, Klay Thompson goes down in the NBA Finals with a torn ACL. But the injuries didn't stop there for this franchise that's been rocked by the injury bug. October of 2019, later that year, Steph Curry broke his hand. Then, before this year, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles just like Kevin Durant did, and now James Wiseman tears his meniscus. I'll never forget where I was on draft night when the news came out that Klay Thompson popped his Achilles after the torn ACL. It has crushed this team. Can't wait to see him back on the court, but you look at the injury timelines right there, this franchise has been crushed by the injury bug. And it's a shame what happened to James Wiseman when it happened, because this is a rookie who's had an up and down season, and he was really starting to put together some solid stretches of play ever since he started to enter the starting lineup. 11.5 points per game, little less than 6 rebounds. To me, I was seeing some flashes, and I don't want to throw out a lofty player comp, but I was seeing some flashes of him shooting some elbow jumpers, him letting it fly from deep, kind of like a Chris Bosh a little bit. But James Wiseman was hurt earlier on in the year. He missed time due to COVID protocols. Now he tears his meniscus. He has been unable to kind of just find firm footing. And for a young player, I just hope this doesn't rock his confidence, because he does have a lot of potential in this Warriors lineup. So, torn meniscus for James Wiseman. Are you concerned? Scale it for me in the comments from 1 to 10 and let me know what you think about James Wiseman's injury. Now, without Wiseman in the lineup, the Warriors have been playing pretty well of late. They've won 3 of 4, including that win against the Denver Nuggets when Steph Curry set that record for the most points in the history of the franchise. And coming up, a vital road trip that could really determine the Warriors' postseason path potentially. They're at the Thunder, at the Cavs, at the Celtics, at the Sixers, and then at the Wizards. So a Midwest road trip to play Oklahoma City, then they go east for the Cavs, Boston, Philly, and the Wizards. So a big road trip coming up for this team that is playing much better basketball of late. So I want to throw this question to the audience out there for all my Dubs peeps. Over under 2.5 wins on this upcoming road trip for the Warriors. If you think they're going to win more than 2.5 games, type O for over. If you think it's going to be under, type U for under. I think they win 3, so I'll type my O. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I love talking basketball with everybody out there, and I've had a lot of people DM me on both Twitter and Instagram asking me questions, sending me trade proposals. I just love chopping it up and talking hoops. So hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. DM me, and let's talk.